When I first started in real estate, a big thing was cold calls. He had to make a certain amount of cold calls every day. I loathed it. I put myself in the other people's position. So after 2 weeks of doing that, I went to my principal and I said, I'm sorry, if this is what real estate is, I'm leaving. I'll go and do something else. So we sat down, we talked about other avenues I could approach, and I focused on them. Everyone's good at one thing or another.
There is no point prospecting unless it's regular. You know, I hear so many times in my office from agents, I put out all these flyers but didn't get a call from it. It's no point if you just do it once. With your prospecting material, if it's letterbox cards, it's got to be blunt and straight to the point. You know, I've got one out that goes out at the moment, it's working really well. It says, do you want to sell your home? So do I. You know, it's just straight, are you thinking of selling? So am I. And it just goes out into their mailbox. So I'll buy 10,000 of them at once. It costs me about $400 or $500. I'll pay a professional person to drop them. You know, might cost me $1,000 all up for 10,000. But I'm not dropping 10,000 in one hit. I've got a target area of 1,000 homes. So 10,000 will last me 10 weeks. And when I'm ready for a next lot, I'll have them booked and ordered so they come and pick them up. So at any time, any week of the year, you can be sure that you'll get a flyer in my mailbox.
So for instance, one day a week, I drive every single street in my suburb, and I know if you have painted your fence. I know if you've put lawn topper on, and I'll send you a card saying, wow, your new fence looks fantastic. Kindest regards, Greg Keeley, with a business card. Not your fence looks fantastic, how about selling your house, you know? So it's just deemed to be proactive in the area. Just listed and just sold are the best reason to door knock and let people know. It's the best reason to use as flyers. Past clients, past appraisals, everything you can. Any excuse you can find to contact someone, use that as a reason to contact them. And remember, never ring someone and ask them for something. Ring someone to offer them information.
And then I have a monthly plan. So week 1 I would do something with personal promotion. Week 2 I do something with a mailbox drop to my farming area of some sort. And with that mailbox drop I'll have it where it's just listed, so that I've listed. Then I'll have one go out just sold, so they can say, oh look, she's listed lots, oh now she's sold lots. I'm really setting them up for that mentality that Kendall's listing, we want to list with her, oh and she's selling too. On the back of those I also have testimonials of things, people that I have sold for. Put lots of pictures on there too of me shaking hands with people, just looking busy. On the 3rd week I do a newsletter for that month, which I'll put different things about the local community. My newsletter is never too real estate-y based. It might be tips on renovating a bathroom, or great ideas for lowering your tax, or I might even put a recipe in there. Like you work out your demographics of your farming area and you have that suit their needs. So mine would be elderly people, so they'd love the recipes. It might be stress relating tips. I would have people in my business networking group do special little articles for my newsletter. So I had a naturopath that would come along to my business networking group. I had a handyman, he'd have a handyman section in my newsletter. So they'd just email me things for my newsletter and I'd put them in there. I'd also put a property of the month, so I'd put a little bit of real estate but not too much, so everyone could get something out of it. Then on the 4th week would be to my listing prospects in my database. I'd mail something to them. It might be something I've just listed or something I've just sold, so they can see that I'm busy as well, because they'd be looking at selling in the future. If not, they might be listed with another agent. I'd also get testimonials from other people too. I'd also send things out to absentee owners. They want to know what's selling and what, you know, has just listed or just sold. So I'd do that in the 4th week, and I just do that every month. And nearly every week I'd get something from each one of those things.
It all works. And then Luke talking about sending the letter when he lists the property, sending a letterbox flyer when he sells the property, a reason to get in touch. And the key, of course, is here staying in touch on a regular basis. If you do it once, it's not going to work.
Now, did you pick up also with Luke that the newsletter was S&S, short and sweet, because people are busy, spot on, Luke, because they'll read it if it's short and brief and to the point. Get rid of all the fluff and just get on with the job. Great comment.
But Kendall, now Kendall's newsletter she includes a little bit of property and includes other bits and pieces where she gets recipes and tax and stress-related tips and that kind of thing. Obviously it works for her because her market, she's saying, is she's targeting an older audience for her market. My view on this is different. My view on this has always been, if I get a newsletter from my real estate agent, I want to know whether they're an expert in real estate. I want to know what's happening in my area about my real estate. I don't want to know that they can cook or give me a great recipe for a Christmas pudding. I want to know about the real estate.
Well, the thing that we've found is that people become human beings with that. So that she's actually working on her personal brand, providing it's not out of balance. So my view, and I imagine that if it's working, it's because the key focus is the real estate. Put in some general chit-chat for people who are not in the market. I think what she was trying to communicate to us was that if you put these letterboxes out or these information flyers out and you can cover off on people who are not even in the market, there might be a certain amount of retention for her name within it if she can include some value add to just a reader who's not physically in the market. So what she's done, she noticed in there that she has a feature property, she has real estate information, and then she also has general information that is of a warm and friendly nature. I think what she's doing in that process is creating brand awareness. She's drilling deeper into the market than just people who would normally look at that and throw it out because they're not in the market. But she's also attracting the people who are currently in the market because she's giving them that hook of that feature property.
Yeah, I may not agree entirely with the content of her newsletter, but I agree with the sentiment, and particularly given she has a systemised marketing plan where every week she's doing another thing, a different thing, and then does it again.
That's probably the benefit, the consistency, because that's the other theme that came through, consistency.
Yep.
The other point that needs to be made, because you could, listen to this DVD and then run off and find the nearest photocopier and start, pushing out all of this kind of information. If you're not going to do it well, do not do it.
Luke made the point.
Do not do it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than a photocopier where the copier needs like a service and it's got a bit of grey in it, or it's not lined up straight, or the font size is out of place. If you're going to do this, spend the money and do it properly. Now, one more thing I picked up on, and we hadn't seen this before with Vance. He just dropped by pure accident that he spent $3,500 on internet-based leads.
Yes.
And he said it didn't work.
Yep.
Now, we haven't seen this in Vance, but this is a little gold nugget, because this is the same as Luke. Vance is putting money back into his business.
Investing in himself and his business.
And if he spent $3,500 something didn't work, I will bet that he's invested a lot of money in his database and in his activities in himself.
And you know that the reason he can say that is because he was absolutely specific about measuring his marketing results. He knew what he got.
He wants bang for the bucks.
He knew what it cost. He doesn't just spend the money and go, oh, I don't have any money left.
Bad luck.
It didn't get any. He actually measures it. I think that is brilliant. I think that is brilliant. So what's your Toops tip?
Okay, Toops tip. Be true to your passion. Find activities you love. If that isn't activities needed in selling, find another career. Real estate agents need genuine passion and genuine enthusiasm.